morning. I'd like to start off by thanking Coach Bloom for giving me an opportunity. I was a high school coach. I got into college football. And the only way I could do that was moving 2,000 miles away from anything I can call family to the Iceland they call the Palouse. It was in the middle of a snowstorm. But, last May when I got a text from Coach Bloom that suddenly asked me, do you want to come home? I mean, nothing made me happier. So I appreciate him giving me that opportunity and kind of letting me run with this opportunity. I also really want to thank the recruiting staff, and they're all back here because this isn't something that can be done alone. I want to start off with Sean Anderson and Greg Liberty. Those are guys, those are ball coaches. And to have their expertise, their eyes, their knowledge in the recruiting department help me out in terms of evaluating film is priceless. It makes my life easier, and it helps us find even higher quality talent. I want to thank Kirsten Hardeman. She's not in here because she's hard at work right now, pumping out graphics and videos. We were here till 1 a.m. last night. She was here at 5:30. She actually beat me to the office. She was here at 5:30 in the morning, still cranking out graphics and videos. And nowadays with recruiting, that's extremely important. I want to give a thank you to Jessica Mori, our director of on-campus recruiting, who has taken this role and absolutely run with it. And for as little experience as she has, she's done a great job, because if you were to tell any recruiting or on-campus person that you had to host a recruiting visit with 20 recruits, they probably would have tossed their keys at you and quit. I maybe just because she hadn't done it before, but she did it and it was very successful and everybody had a great time. Now I want to give a huge thanks to Lee Menifee, who I absolutely would not be able to do my job without him, in terms of he does a lot of the behind the scenes work, getting kids into school. He's our direct liaison with administration, compliance, admissions, a lot of the stuff that people don't want to do. He does it, and he does it really well. So thank you, everybody. Thank you to the coaching staff. Like I said, I'm just glad to be here.
Mark, obviously, you got still living on the street. What does it say about your staff and the operating class?
I mean, being involved in athletics means you're competitive, and I didn't want to come here and be complacent. I came in here with those aspirations, and that's something I told Bloom in my interview. So first things first, we're going to recruit Texas, and second, we're going to be really dang good at it. So, that's just, I don't call plays or anything like that. This is the competitive nature in me. And yes, I watch those rankings religiously, because that's what we strive to be. And I had people patting me on the back like, hey man, this best recruiting class in history and all that stuff. So I was just still mad we got passed up second place, or that we weren't first, because that's what you strive to be. You strive to be the best. And especially, moving to this new conference and the way, everybody in this building works, we want to be the best.
What's it like? Look at changing. They calculated it. I know like JT Daniels, who's, has a pedigree that precedes him, doesn't count.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily count towards the numbers, but it counts for us. It's something. It really. I think Lee pointed it out earlier. We were trending on Twitter. Like JT Daniels was like the 15th trending thing on Twitter. So again, people were talking about the Rice Owls, and that's recruiting. That helps.
Anyone online with a question? Go ahead, Sam.
Marco, I'm curious, how did you embrace the challenge of recruiting here versus obviously, just some unique challenges you have recruiting to this place versus kind of what your past experience was? And where did you find like the margins to kind of exploit to kind of get some of the guys that you want to get?
Gotcha. And, people call it a challenge. To me, it's not challenging. We just have a smaller pool to pick from, and you really get high quality kids. It's really a breath of fresh air once you have conversations with these kids and families and stuff like that really, really want to invest themselves in Rice. And it was something easy for me to really just kind of like dive in and immerse myself into, because as one of our players said in their pregame speech last week, we are intellectuals, but we are, we're here to compete and do really good. But, academics was something that always was stressed to me growing up. My mom is an educator. Her father was an educator and an administrator. So being able to, just relate in that sense, stressing academics, and also really being in love with athletics and the sport of football was easy to relate to these kids. But again, there's always really good athletes. And just because you have to search for kids with the highest grades doesn't mean you're going to have to, scale back in terms of the level of athlete you can get. Yeah, we're going to have to look a little harder, but they're out there.
And you mentioned the social media part just a minute ago. I'm curious, how much effort do you guys put to kind of build some buzz around this program, and how much does that buzz matter in recruiting in your mind?
I think it just happens organically. I think Bloom has said it best. It's what I do on social media. What we do on social media isn't something trying to like some facade of something we aren't. We're just kind of putting ourselves out there. This is who we are. And I think there's such a good amount of genuine people in this building that people just tend to gravitate towards it and really be interested and really bought into what we're doing here at Rice.